Johnny Fontana, half amazing discussions. Today we're gonna do something a little differently because I'm trying to condense the process into one, so that everyone can get all the information into one video rather than having these long drawn out vlogs, and then you find out that what you need to know is in like video 6 or 7. So let me do one condensed vlog for prior service, entering back into active duty, specifically for Air Force, go through the whole process up until now, well, the stage of acceptance, and then from there, I'll, maybe give you a little bit of detailed information so that you have an understanding of what to expect next. All right. So, first of all, I can only provide you context as a reservist. Okay, if you're coming from the outside, it's a little different. So you'd have to obviously get with the recruiter to find out. But that's why I say, especially when you get out, don't go out cold turkey. Always stay in the reserve, because there may be a situation where you might want to go back in. All right. So, for example, me, I'm in the reserve. I work for the Department of Interior. That's why I'm, in shirt and tie, and I have made my way back into it. All right. So, as a reservist, you basically belong to a unit. So, with that unit now, you have to get a Form 368, okay, which is going to be it's a form that allows you to transfer or to move into a different unit, or into a specialized division, or what have you. Basically, it's just a form that requests your transfer. Okay. Now, along with that, you will need to out process from your unit. Okay, certain units require special or specific information, different paperwork. Okay, for me specifically, my unit, I needed to have a staff summary sheet, which had all the specified offices within the wing. Okay, so it went from my commander to everyone else up and down FSS, and finally the wing commander signed it off. Now, within that staff summary sheet, you will you will need certain things within that. So, for example, I needed my PT scores, I needed my surf, and some other information. Obviously, if you are within a reserve, you should understand what all that entails. Okay, keep in mind that the Air Force now is accepting direct duty, which means that you don't have to cross train. Cross train rates will determine or will be determined by first come first service, and which AFSC you would like to cross train into and experience, and all the different factors, right? But direct duty, there is no list. So despite what you've heard, the PGM 500 for the fiscal year 2017 is that there is no list. Okay, now we're approaching fiscal year 2018. All right, because we are in June, so you have to be aware of that, right? And start making decisions. Don't be like, oh well, I want to get in active duty, but I want to switch my AFSC, so I want to retrain, so I'm going to wait till the fiscal year 2018 list comes out, because by that time you may not even have an opportunity to get back active duty. Okay, I'm just saying, you just need to weigh your options and understand where you are. Okay, so after now you have the surf, you route everything through the wing. Ensure that FSS, because there's a section on the back that basically states that you have no negative markings, nothing basically that's going to come back to haunt you, no articles, and all that stuff, right? No derogatory paperwork that's going to prevent you from being released, okay? Once the FSS annotates that, okay, then they themselves will submit it to the recruiter, okay? Then the recruiter will get you'll have to go back, fill out paperwork if you have dependents, just all the paperwork that comes along with that, right? You'll need the birth certificate, high school diploma, social security card, and all that stuff, right? And the same thing for your dependents. Once you fill that out, that stuff is going to go to AFRS, which is the Air Force Reserve, recruiting services, right? Then they'll process all that information. They'll pull out some stuff like your red and all that stuff that they need, okay? You'll also need your EPRs, like I think the last two or something like that, and especially for reservists, we get one a year or one every 2 years, so you may only have to submit one, and then from there they'll pull whatever that they need, and then they'll send it up, okay? Once now they send it up, they now have to send it up to AFPC in order for you to get approved, okay? They'll talk to your functional manager for that career field, determine your rank, your age and all that stuff, if they need you, what have you, and then they'll say yes or no. Once you now are approved, you'll meet back with the recruiter. Recruiter will then process you for MEPS, okay? Ask you all the questions. I'll have to do a separate video on MEPS, okay? Ask you all the questions that you need, and then from there sign you up for MEPS. Now, in between the time that you submit that information to the recruiter, and then the recruiter submits it to the recruiter submits it to his leadership, which is the AFRS, and then AFRS submits all that paperwork to AFPC, depending on how much paperwork is missing. If it gets kicked back from AFRS and your recruiter now has to request more information from you, all that now may take up until like 2 months, okay? It should be like maybe 1 to 2 months, okay, if everything is flowing, okay? Then, so for example, I submitted mine in December, but then it got kicked back because of just information, because he wasn't sure of what was happening. Now, keep in mind, most recruiters don't understand the prior service process, so they themselves may get hung up, okay? So you have to try to walk them through this, so hopefully this information that I'm giving to you, you can actually provide that to them, and make sure that they're looking at the PGM 500 for all the required information that you needed, because if not, it's going to get kicked back to the recruiter, okay? And that's what happened to me, but my recruiter didn't tell me that, but I knew because there was some information that was supposed to be in the packet that wasn't, that he later requested for me, and that's when I knew that it got kicked back. But that's just obviously my internal knowledge that I'm not going to reveal to him, just because you just want to just keep the relationship cordial, right, and professional. So it may take about 1 to 2 months, okay, from that point on until you are approved, okay? Most likely a month and a half to 2 months, okay? And then from there, you'll get scheduled for MEPS, okay? That, depending on how your MEPS works, they'll call in, they'll give the pre-screening, all that paperwork. I'll talk about that later on. And then you should be scheduled within that week or 2 weeks, depending on how busy your MEPS is. Once that's completed, then you'll now receive a yes or nay, because the MEPS will submit that information to AFPC, and then AFPC now will... Oh, no, I'm sorry. Let's go back. Just want to remind you of something. When your information gets to the the functional, okay, they'll determine whether or not you have a job. Then it's going to get kicked back again. And then right before you go to MEPS, your package will be submitted again for final walkthrough, make sure everything's okay, and then they'll say yes. But most likely, if you get approved the first time, it's just basically just, covering their sixes, making sure everything is okay, all your paperwork is finalized before. Okay, so it's not really a difference, but that's just that extra step that they make. From MEPS, it'll be submitted. It should take anywhere from 3 to 2 months. 3 weeks to 2 months. Okay, that's what happened to me. It took me about 2 months. And now, I'm going to give you a word of caution. I'm one of those individuals that I need to know what's happening. I don't like the fact how information just gets thrown out there into some black hole, and you have no idea what's happening. That is what happened to me, basically. It's a situation where I kept on asking. I even called AFPC directly. No one knows anything. Just keep in mind that no one is going to know anything. All right, they're not going to have any clue, any understanding of what's happening. It's only going to be you, the recruiter, and your higher being. Okay, and even your recruiter, he's not even going to know a lot of the information that you're asking, especially if he's brand new at this. Okay, so once it comes back, you'll get your orders. You'll get your the passcode. Passcode will go to AFRS. AFRS will reveal the information, your assignment, and then from there, your assignment and dates no later than will be given to your recruiter. If you're going to tech school, it's another situation. You'll get your tech school date and all that stuff, right? No later than, what have you. Then from there, you'll have to report to MEPS for your final out process, which is your weight and height. And then you will have to, you'll get your contract, and you'll ship out. All right. Now, in my case, I'm having to ship out in about a month. Well, no, I have to pick up my contract in about a month. All right. And so, but I don't have my orders. So I'm like, hey, listen, I'm PCS in it, and I'm going all the way out to the other side of the country. So what's the deal? Because TMO, they're gonna need my orders. Family services, they're gonna need my orders. Everyone's gonna need my orders, right? So talk to your recruiter. Your recruiter's gonna have to call MEPS, and MEPS is going to now provide you with the orders, and then from there you'll still have to meet with them for that final out process and ship out. Okay, but instead of now you shipping out to your duty state to your school or what have you, you'll basically be just going back to your home and out processing and doing whatever that you need to do, all right, to PCS and contact family services, TMO, and all that stuff, right? Keep in mind that we're nobody. Prior service is basically nobody. It's a small program. Not a lot of people get through for various reasons, whether it be medical, just people not knowing what they're doing. So you need to keep that in mind, okay? And so, but you got to stand tall, okay? Just be resilient. Listen, I've learned the hard way in the past, okay, about giving recruiters pressure, even the human resource, HR personnel for various career fields and departments that I've applied for, and I've learned the hard way, okay? Just be patient. Be patient. I know it's going to suck, because you're going to be like, I don't understand this. And no, I'm not saying for you not to worry about it, because I'm saying I'm going to do my best in order to try to fix this, however I can, because I'm getting back active duty. So one of my priorities is to some way fix this, because this is ridiculous. Because I don't like the fact that you talk to people and they, oh well, this is the program, this is how it is, and then they give you some excuse. Oh, it's just a reserve. It's just this, whatever. No, there comes a point in time where, no, you cannot have that. Okay, and something needs to be done where people receive the information that they need to receive, and just you send out paperwork and you have no idea what happens, and it just comes back. You know, like you send a boomerang, it goes out, you like have no idea where it went, and all of a sudden it just hits you in the face. Yeah, well, you know, you just got the orders, but what happened in between there? You know, so just stand tall. All right, don't get frustrated. Well, yeah, you can get frustrated because you will get frustrated, but don't let your emotions get the best of you, in which you now, hurt yourself, by saying the wrong things, and your process stopping. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say with that. If you have any questions, again, email me, info@boothridertv.com. I don't come back here too often to comment. This is just information that I put out there for people to get. All right, Johnny Fontana, half amazing discussions. We out.